During the Second World War, it was one of Nazi Germany's most powerful weapons, the fearsome battleship Graf Spee.
In the estuary of the River Plate,
one of the proudest ships of the German Navy, scuttled.
This is the wreck of the Graf Spee, lying on the seafloor just 65 feet under the South Atlantic.
For decades, the Admiral Graf Spee rested silently beneath cold, murky waters off Uruguay's coast, hidden under layers of mud, secrets, and profound silence. This once feared Nazi warship vanished into the depths after a battle that changed the course of history forever. But what mysteries still linger in its sunken hull? As salvage divers dared to explore its ghostly remains, they uncovered artifacts that challenged everything we thought we knew. The story unfolds shrouded in shadows, a haunting journey to find buried truths that refuse to stay hidden forever. Each discovery raises new questions about the past. What lies beneath may shock you. Germany's secret naval superweapon. Beneath the murky waters of Uruguay lies something far more sinister than just twisted steel and rusted bolts. When salvage divers first reached the wreck of the Admiral Graf Spee, they weren't just approaching a sunken warship. They were staring into the belly of a secret Nazi superweapon. But what exactly was this ship hiding? And how did it manage to terrify entire convoys before vanishing into legend? The Graf Spee wasn't just another German battleship. It was a calculated deception, the product of Nazi Germany's cunning strategy to sidestep post-World War I restrictions. After the Treaty of Versailles limited the size and strength of Germany's navy, engineers were ordered to design a ship that could punch like a battleship but hide in plain sight. The result? The so-called pocket battleship. Built in the early 1930s and launched in 1934, the Graf Spee looked modest on paper, just within the allowed tonnage. But in reality, it was a floating paradox. Faster than cruisers, deadlier than destroyers, and armored like ships twice its size. It carried 6 11-inch guns, twin torpedo tubes at the stern, a rare feature for its class, and a suite of cutting-edge electronics, including SeaTact, one of the earliest naval radar systems ever deployed. This radar gave the ship a massive advantage, allowing it to detect targets long before they were seen by the eye. And that was just the beginning. The ship's diesel engines gave it an astonishing range of over 16,000 nautical miles, enough to roam the globe without refueling. Its fire control systems could lock onto enemy vessels with precision most navies couldn't dream of at the time. If enemies got too close, they might not even recognize it. The Graf Spee's crew reportedly built fake turrets and funnels, disguising the ship's silhouette to confuse Allied scouts. In 1938, engineers proposed modifying the ship, extending its bow and enhancing seaworthiness. That plan was never approved, but the idea that it could have been even more powerful is chilling. This wasn't just a warship, it was a floating experiment, a mechanical lie wrapped in armor. What truly makes it terrifying is this: no one outside Nazi command fully understood its capabilities, until it was too late. What else did the Graf Spee carry that no one was meant to find? Yet for all its power and secrecy, the Graf Spee couldn't escape the one thing no blueprint could predict: a trap set not by fire, but by illusion. As the Atlantic grew colder and the noose tightened, this floating fortress was about to face its greatest enemy. Not a battleship, not a bomb, but a lie so convincing it forced a legend to self-destruct. The final showdown. By late 1939, Allied ships in the South Atlantic were disappearing without a trace. Entire cargo vessels were going silent. Their crews, rescued days later, would all describe the same chilling sight: a dark gray monster appearing from nowhere, flying the Nazi flag, and then vanishing again like a ghost. That monster was the Admiral Graf Spee, and for a short time, it was the most feared predator in the ocean. But even monsters can be cornered. In December 1939, the Royal Navy finally caught up with the Graf Spee. Off the coast of South America, near the estuary of the River Plate, 3 British cruisers, HMS Exeter, Ajax, and Achilles, waited. On paper, they were no match. Graf Spee outgunned all 3, with bigger cannons and heavier armor. But the British didn't rely on brute strength. They had a plan. The cruisers split their formation, attacking from multiple angles and constantly shifting position to divide the Graf Spee's fire. It was a deadly game of distraction, flanking, and deception. For over an hour, thunder roared across the sea as shells flew in every direction. HMS Exeter was badly damaged, but it worked. Graf Spee took hits too, especially to its fuel system and rangefinder. Low on ammunition and with vital systems failing, the Graf Spee limped toward Montevideo, Uruguay, a neutral port. Captain Langsdorff requested 2 full weeks for repairs, but international law permitted only 24 hours. Under mounting diplomatic pressure, Uruguay granted a strict 72-hour extension, no more. That's when the British made their boldest move yet. They bluffed. British intelligence spread false reports that a full Royal Navy battle fleet was waiting just outside Uruguayan waters. In reality, only a few ships were nearby. But Langsdorff didn't know that. Facing what he believed was certain destruction, he made an unthinkable decision. He ordered the ship scuttled. On December 17, 1939, the Admiral Graf Spee was deliberately blown up just outside Montevideo harbor to keep it out of enemy hands. Langsdorff, racked with guilt and burdened by duty, took his life days later in a Buenos Aires hotel room, wrapping himself in the German naval flag. So how did a warship built to rewrite naval power get defeated without being sunk in battle? Not with firepower, but with fear, misdirection, and psychological warfare. The real weapon that brought down Graf Spee was a lie, and what a deadly lie it was. What divers uncovered. The story didn't end when the guns fell silent. Beneath the surface, the wreck itself held a new battle, one of discovery, mystery, and revelation. Beneath the calm, silty waters of the Rio de la Plata estuary lies a silent witness to one of the most dramatic naval chapters of World War II, the wreck of the Admiral Graf Spee. For decades, this ghostly giant rested hidden beneath layers of mud, its secrets locked away from the world. But what exactly did the salvage divers find when they finally dared to explore this underwater battlefield? The answers are as fascinating as the ship's history itself. Side-scan sonar surveys first revealed the wreck resting upright, tilted slightly to starboard. The aft turret had exploded during the scuttling, splitting that section of the hull apart. This split created a haunting scar, a frozen moment of destruction visible even beneath the murky waters. In 1997, salvage teams made their first breakthrough, raising a 5.9-inch secondary gun mount from the depths. This piece now stands proudly in Montevideo, a tangible connection to the ship's deadly power and a symbol of human curiosity reaching into the abyss. But the real prize came in 2004 when divers recovered an enormous optical rangefinder weighing around 27 tons. This intricate device was vital for the ship's targeting and fire control systems, allowing the Graf Spee to aim with deadly accuracy. Its recovery was the cornerstone of the salvage plan, a testament to the cutting-edge technology packed into this pocket battleship. The salvage operation attracted global attention, even drawing the legendary filmmaker James Cameron, who documented the daring underwater archaeology efforts. What other secrets lie beneath the shifting silt, waiting for eyes bold enough to uncover them? The story of the Graf Spee's underwater remains has only just begun. The Bronze Eagle Saga. While the optical rangefinder revealed much about the ship's deadly precision, the true story of the Graf Spee's legacy emerged through the artifacts that followed, each carrying its weight of history and controversy. Among the many artifacts recovered from the Sunken, the Admiral Graf Spee, none has sparked as much controversy as the enormous bronze eagle that once perched proudly on the ship's stern. Weighing a staggering 880 pounds, almost 400 kilograms, and boasting a wingspan of nearly 9 feet, this eagle was not just a piece of metal. It was a symbol, a relic, and a lightning rod for heated debate. But why has this statue stirred such a storm, decades after the war ended? When divers first hauled the eagle from its watery grave, the massive sculpture was immediately covered with a tarp. The reason? The eagle's claws gripped a large swastika, the infamous emblem of Nazi Germany. Displaying such a symbol is legally restricted or socially taboo in many countries. This raised a critical question. How should the world handle an artifact that represents both historical importance and painful ideology? The eagle's journey became a legal and ethical tug-of-war. The salvage company that retrieved it sought to sell the statue, hoping collectors or museums might pay handsomely. But the Uruguayan government stepped in, declaring the eagle state property, arguing it belonged to the public and should be preserved as a part of history, not sold for profit. In 2019, the courts ruled in favor of state custody, yet higher appeals muddied the waters for years, preventing a final resolution. Throughout this time, the eagle sat in limbo, neither proudly displayed nor destroyed, caught between reverence and rejection. Then came a shock in June 2023. Uruguay's president proposed melting the eagle down to transform it into a giant peace dove, a symbol of reconciliation and a firm rejection of the hateful past it once represented. The plan seemed noble, but public backlash was swift and fierce. Historians, survivors' families, and international observers argued that erasing such a symbol would be tantamount to forgetting history itself. Within 24 hours, the idea was withdrawn, plunging the eagle back into the heart of the debate. Adding another twist, a Jewish Argentinian businessman offered to buy and destroy the eagle, hoping to end the controversy once and for all. But this too triggered intense discussion. Does destroying such artifacts erase painful memories, or does preserving them risk glorifying the ideology behind them? So, what should be done with this bronze giant? Should it stand as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and hate? Or should it be melted away to prevent any chance of celebration by extremists? The Bronze Eagle saga is more than a story about metal and politics. It forces us to confront how societies remember dark chapters of history and how fragile the line is between education and glorification. Its wings spread wide, and the eagle still casts a long shadow, challenging us to decide what legacy we want to carry forward. Hidden treasures? Beneath decades of thick, oxygen-starved mud, the Admiral Graf Spee still guards secrets that stir the imagination. What lies locked inside the ship's sealed compartments, untouched and hidden under layers of silt? Could there be more than just rusting metal and shattered weapons buried beneath the estuary's shifting currents? Divers exploring the wreck have discovered pieces of encrypted communications gear and intricate devices that hint at onboard coding machines. These early Kriegsmarine cipher tools might have held coded messages vital to Nazi naval operations. Imagine the secrets these machines could reveal if ever fully recovered and deciphered. Could the ship have been carrying intelligence far beyond what history recorded? Adding to the intrigue, metallurgical analysis of recovered fragments reveals materials far beyond typical shipbuilding alloys. This suggests the Graf Spee might have carried experimental technology or precious specimens intended for study and weaponization. What if this pocket battleship was also a floating laboratory, silently advancing secrets that modern researchers have barely begun to understand? And then there are the rumors, persistent whispers among treasure hunters and historians alike. Some claim that the Graf Spee transported high-value cargo, such as uranium oxide, a key ingredient for nuclear research. Could there still be radioactive material buried beneath the mud, waiting to be uncovered? No official excavation has confirmed these claims, but such speculation only fuels fascination and mystery. The wreck's environment hasn't been kind either. Strong underwater currents have shifted debris and scattered fragments, from ammunition boxes to pieces of sailors' uniforms, littering the seabed around the hull. Even more concerning, unauthorized divers, both thrill-seekers and looters, have made dangerous dives, snatching relics and disturbing this fragile historic site. In response, Uruguay has stepped up patrols and tightened protections, hoping to preserve what remains untouched. So what else is waiting beneath the silty waves? What secrets have yet to be uncovered in this underwater time capsule? The Graf Spee's story isn't over, and its silent depths hold promises of revelations still to come. Legacy and ongoing impact. The name Graf Spee carries a haunting echo through history, not once, but twice. Its World War II incarnation met its fate off the coast of South America, just as its World War I predecessor did decades earlier. This eerie symmetry has fascinated historians and sailors alike, turning the waters near Uruguay into a maritime graveyard steeped in mystery and legend. But the Graf Spee is far from forgotten. Its scattered relics have been carefully collected and transformed into a kind of floating museum. Montevideo's Naval Museum now proudly dedicates an entire wing to the ship's artifacts, allowing visitors to step back into the tense days of 1939 and glimpse the technology, bravery, and tragedy that defined the vessel's story. These objects do more than tell history. They fuel national identity and collective memory in Uruguay and beyond. International diplomacy adds another layer to the saga. Germany insists that recovered artifacts be displayed only in non-commercial educational settings. Meanwhile, Israel, Jewish organizations, and Uruguay debate the moral weight of showcasing Nazi relics, wrestling with how to remember a dark past without glorifying it. Today, the Graf Spee remains a case study in underwater archaeology, a nexus where engineering marvels, historical truth, legal battles, ethical dilemmas, and political tensions converge. It reminds us that shipwrecks are not just rusted hulls, but living stories challenging us to think deeply about memory, justice, and time. The Graf Spee lingers not only in museums and archives, but also in documentaries, forums, and new research. What other secrets might the river's depths still guard? Could another discovery be waiting beneath the silt to rewrite what we think we know? The story of the Graf Spee isn't finished yet. How much more lies hidden in the shadows beneath the waves? The story of the Admiral Graf Spee shows us that some secrets remain buried far beneath the surface, hidden by time, silence, and shadow. What other mysteries could still be waiting deep beneath the waves? How much more will we uncover, and what will those discoveries teach us about history? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating stories that challenge everything we think we know. Thanks for watching.